before I'm about to leave out the door, he's like, can opener, right? And I'm like, thanks for reminding me, because I was telling him about this. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, I need a can opener, and the grocery store I'm going to is in that direction. So I'm like, okay. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, it's not a necessity right now. I don't have any cans to open, right? It's not necessary for me to go and get it now, right? But he told me can opener, so I'm like, okay. That's the only thing he told me before I left and held the door. And it's like 9 in the morning, right? So I leave when I left like half an hour. Normally I would have left, right? Because it takes me an hour or so to walk there, right? Normally I would have left at 8 and reached the store at 9, but I left at 9 because I felt him nearby and I heard him talking to me. So I left after 9 and I'm walking on my way to the grocery store. So this is what I have this piece of paper for here now. So this is the opposite direction to Kidnap Road, okay? I don't know if this is a good map, but anyways. I can't draw. Stop making fun of me. Can you guys see this? My eyes hurt so much. I'm like, I don't know if I can see this. Shoe, help me out. Okay. I take all the shortcuts. Okay. This road here is when I'm passing this road is when I come across that dog that looks like a mop, right? They don't bark at me anymore because they're used to me going back and forth this way. So normally I take the main road. So I I take the shortcut, cross past this house, get to this light, and the grocery store is right here. Right? I don't know if you guys can see this. Here, take a good look. Take the shortcut, go past the house with the dog. I can't draw a dog, so I don't want to butcher it. Past this house, then I go straight along here, right? Normally I take the main road, I stop at this light, and then head to the grocery store, right? But he told me can opener, right? So I'm going, and I know this is like, where the church is like here. I don't know how to draw a church. Let's put a cross. He told me can opener, right? And that place is a little further than from the grocery store. So I'm like, okay, let me take all the side roads, right? So I'm like, okay, instead of taking the main road and going straight to the grocery store here, I take the shortcut, or not a shortcut, but I go through the residential area past the church, right? The one that I didn't go to because I told you it's in the opposite direction. So as I'm walking here, right, like I'm going from like here. In my head, I'm contemplating what he told me, right? Because all he told me was can opener, and in my head, I'm like, it's not a necessity right now. I'm like, there's no need for me to walk till down there for no reason, right? So in my head, I'm contemplating, I'm like, should I listen to what he said? Should I not listen to what he said? Right? Because I'm like, I could go any day and pick up this can opener if I really wanted to, right? And remember, I'm like starving. I'm craving bagels. So I'm like working on like hunger mode. And I'm like, the mission is to go pick up bagels, right? And I'm like, but he told me can opener. So I'm like, okay, I have to head to the mall because that's where this can opener is. But I'm like, I don't need a can opener right now. Why am I heading that way? So as I'm contemplating in my head whether to head to the mall or not, I ultimately end up deciding to go because he told me, because when I weighed out the options, because I'm like, what reasons do I have to listen to him and what reasons do I have not to listen to him, right? I'm like, okay, if I listen to him, I might find the can opener. But I'm like, if I don't listen to him, I'm like, it doesn't matter if I get the can opener or not. And I don't know if I'm gonna get these bagels. Suppose I go till down that way and I come back and all the bagels are gone, right? It's still a waste of my time. So I'm like thinking those things in my head. So I'm like, it has to be important because I'm like, he wouldn't tell me this if it wasn't important, right? That's all he told me was can opener, and I'm like, okay. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I have time. It's not like I have to go catch a bus or whatever, and if it's a waste of time, it's a waste of time. Like, I have time for waste, right? I'm like, this is what we're at now. That's why I end up cutting through the residential area, right, passing the church. Then I end up passing the grocery store and I'm heading to the mall now, right? So I'm like, I'm at this other light. And as I'm approaching this light, I see this lady in a wheelchair and she's facing, I don't know how to draw her. Let's draw her here. There's this old lady in a wheelchair right at the light, and the light's like, it's a four-way and people can't fucking drive there, and there's been a lot of accidents there, right? So how do I, it's not a busy road, but it's the busy road's the next one. But like all of the like overflow traffic is here. You guys following along with my ugly drawing? So I have fun going through the residential area. Then I come across the other light because I have to get from, if there was a diagonal light, it would be helpful because I have to get from this part of the street to the other side. Like, how? This is hard. Anyways, I see her as I'm coming and I'm like, it looks like she wants to get across the road, right? So in my head, I'm like, oh, she's gonna go from this side to that side, right? It's not that far, but maybe she's tired. I don't know how long she's been in that chair or how long she's been waiting there. I get to the light now. Push the light. I have headphones in too, right? Because I always get messages when I have songs in. When you guys look at my feed, I put in Pick It Up. Those, I know okay. Jungwon, he said the new Hyphen song's a great shower song, right? I'm like, I'm not putting a shower playlist there, bro. I'm like, I haven't, we haven't sang in the shower like when we were kids. Anyhow, so there's no shower playlist, and I don't have a shopping playlist, right? Because if I did, it'd be all the songs I banned from when I go grocery shopping. Because you guys know I'm listening to it while I'm walking on the way, right? So I'm like, one of the songs I wouldn't play is Pick It Up. Because, you know, imagine you're in the grocery store and you see something. It's terrible for judgment, right? It's like, pick this up and pick this up, right? That's the song I would never play when I'm out shopping. Anyway, so I have headphones in. Come across this lady. I pushed the pedestrian light to cross the road. And I turn back to look at her because now she's starting to talk to me because I'm like, okay, if she makes eye contact with me, I'll ask her if she needs help to get across the road, right? Because I'm like, that's like no problem for me because I have to cross this road and cross again because I got to get to the other corner, right? I can't, she starts saying stuff and again, I can't hear, you know, the same situation where I'm like, I got headphones and I see your mouth moving, but I can't tell what you're saying. So I take on I stop the headphones. I think I was on Brazilian funk at the time because when I said it, it goes from like Korean to like Brazilian to like rock to like instrument, right? Like I have it cycling through like that, right? Um, so I remember I had to turn down the Brazilian funk blasting in my ears. Then I hear her out and she's like, "Can you help me get to the convenience store?" Right? And it's on the, it's so it's because she's facing. Fuck, how do I explain? I need a square. There's a there's lights everywhere. Okay, it's a four-way. She's facing this direction, right? So I think she wants to cross the road and go this way, right? Right, which is in the direction of the mall, which is where I was going because I'm like, I'm gonna go check out for this can opener, right? But then she tells me, I'm like, she's like, I need to head to the convenience store. And I'm like, the convenience store is this way, right? So I'm like, she's facing the wrong way, and you can clearly see it. It's right there. And I tell her, I'm like, okay, I'm crossing the road. I can help you out, right? Then I don't know what gets in her head. Suddenly, she's suddenly so friendly because I was telling her, I'm like, wait, I can't hear you over the headphones. Let me like turn this off so I can hear you. This is an elderly lady, and keep in mind, before I ran into her, I had a lot of these racist situations, right? So I'm like, okay, she told me can opener, and now I'm in this situation now, right? So I ran into her maybe like 9:50, 10 o'clock ish, right? She's telling me, she's like, I need to head to the convenience store, right? And I'm like, she could have easily like pushed herself there. I'm like, why didn't she, right? So like, I'm telling her I can help get her there, and I'm like, oh, I'm headed to the mall, so I'm gonna be going that way. And then I felt her like light up, cause she's like, actually, I really need to go to the bank right now. She said, I think I got scammed out of a good amount of money, but I can't get there by myself to get all the way to the mall, right? And then she's looking at me like she doesn't want to be a burden, right? She's like, she didn't want to ask me like, can you take me all the way to the mall, right? And then I'm standing there telling her, I'm like, which do you need? Do you need to head to the convenience store? Or do you want to head to the mall with me? And she tells me, she's like, I can always head to the convenience store when I get back because it's on, she said it's on her way when she's heading to her apartment. She's like, can you help me get to the bank? Because she said, I got a call yesterday saying I got scammed out or however much money. And I was like, oh my good God. I'm like, lady, you shouldn't be telling people randomly that, because suppose if it was anybody else, somebody would have been like, oh, robbed her out of money. Let me rob her out of some more. You know what I mean? Um, So suddenly now she trusts me, right? Because I'm like, okay, I'm like, I've never pushed someone in a wheelchair, right? So I'm like, if it's a bumpy ride, because this road ain't smooth at all, I'm like, don't get mad at me. So now she opens up to me and we start having a conversation now, right? Next thing I know, she's like telling me her whole life story. I'm like, yo, I didn't, did I sign up for this? Oh, I could really tell she was desperate for help because she looked at me. She didn't even care that I looked scrawny as fuck. Because I was telling her, I'm like, you're lucky I'm strong to get you from point A to point B. Because she was asking me, she's like, how, she's like, I don't see people walking. I'm like, why are you walking at this time of day? She's like, are you heading to work to the mall? And then I told her no. And then first thing that came to mind to me was when she said can opener, and I told her, I'm like, I actually am headed to the mall because I need a can opener, and I think I'm gonna go pick one up at the store. I'm looking for one, right? So I'm telling her that, and I'm like, I feel like if I told her anything else, it'd be weird. I didn't want to tell her, oh yeah, God sent me this direction, right? But I told her, I'm like, I need to go pick up a can opener, right? You're lucky it's on the same way. And she said, I am lucky. She said, God blessed me with you. And I was like, I didn't expect her to say that at all, right? I was trying not to bring up God, but she brought it up. So then I'm like, okay, Shu brought us together. So I'm like, let's see what's going on with this situation now, right? We're walking, she's opening up to me. She said she was hesitant to talk to me because she said most people on these streets, she said, are fucking drug dealers. Then I'm looking at her and then I tell her, I'm like, do I look like a drug dealer to you? Do drug dealers wear dresses? I was like, I'm kind of offended that you clock me as a drug dealer. And then she starts laughing. She's like, oh, my bad. She's like, then she called me an angel, right? So I know she's for sure human. But then I get even more mad. I'm like, lady, at your old ass age, how do you go from IDing me as a drug dealer to an angel? Like, that's a mad discrepancy in judgment. Oh my god. She's like, you gotta be an angel. And I was like, thanks. Wasn't expecting an old person to tell me this, right? So then she goes on and she opens up to me about her story. And I'm like, you're lucky I'm really strong to push you from here to there, right? Because I told her, as I was thinking about it, because I'm like, I don't know where the ramps are. I'm taking her the way I normally go. I'm like, I normally go this way. Are you okay with going this direction? She said, yeah, whatever, as long as I end up at the bank. I really like talking to her because recently a lot of people have been saying really racist things. They're like, oh, like, they're like, language is an issue. But I'm like, this old ass lady understood me clearly. We're having a good conversation. And she never said one racist thing to me because I was telling her, I'm like, there's some mad racist people out there. So now she starts giving me her life story. Now that she knows I'm not a drug dealer. I'm like, lady, that's the least of your problems. Suppose I was coming here to rob your ass. You're really fucked. Or I could, like, you're lucky I don't have the energy to fucking, like, I could have easily taken her elsewhere, not to the mall, where I could have kidnapped her. You know what I mean? Because kidnapping's this thing here. I'm like, you really have some faith here, okay? So, like, I'm like, okay, my morning just got really good because, like, she distracted me from the hungriness of wanting bagels. Okay, we crossed the road and we're talking now, right? And I'm like, okay, I gotta get rid of my headphones now because she's full on talking to me and it's rude for me to half listen, right? So I'm like, okay, after we cross the road, I wait for a second, I put away my headphones, and I'm telling her, I'm like, we're gonna go the way I normally go because I'm like, I don't know what way you go, and the way you probably go is probably the long way, and I ain't got time for that, okay? So then she tells me, she's like, I think she said she was 77. I never got her name, right? But I'm like, she told me she's 77. Old people get taken advantage of. Drug dealers have been here forever. Kidnapping is a new thing since more and more young people are coming here. I asked her if she's been here her whole life because so far everybody I've talked to in this small town started off here, went off to do something else, and then came back here, right? So I'm like, she's probably another one of those. And she told me she's from London side, right? Where all the major drug dealers are. She knows them when she sees them, and I'm like, you still have bad judgment when you looked at me. I'm like, do I look like I'm high as fuck? I don't know at what age. She said her mom and dad, I think, got divorced, and then I don't know if it's her mom or her dad, whoever remarried, ended up moving out here, and she's been here since then. That's what she told me. As she's telling me her story, I feel like, because I had a bagel hangry on my mind, and I'm like, oh, as I'm talking to her too, I was like, don't cuss at the old lady, don't cuss. Because I'm like, I don't want to get too comfortable and talk to her like I normally would, because I'm like, next thing I know, suppose I cuss, and then she goes into like some heart attack, then I'm like, my day's gonna go into a whole nother direction. I'm like, I'm like maintain calm, don't fuck this up. So in my head, I'm like, I'm hungry for bagels, and I'm like, don't cuss. So I'm like not getting all the details of the story because I'm like, when am I ever gonna run into her again, right? Because it's so weird. I've been here for a whole year, and then this suddenly happens, especially after I read and I was talking to Shu about this, right? So she tells me she's 77. She used to be from London, Ontario, not London, England, okay? We've got like that that parallel keeps coming up. I keep seeing London. I don't know why. I don't know if I should head out there next because I've been here too long. Yeah, she tells me she's 77. Her parents got divorced. She ended up here. The whole bank scamming thing. How the old people get taken advantage of. How she needed help getting to the bank. And for me, I'm like, because I've never pushed someone in a wheelchair before. I'm so focused on not cussing at her. Making sure she's comfortable all the way through as I'm taking her, because she's telling me her story nicely, right? And I was telling her about my like racist experiences and stuff, and then she's like, she brought up culture. She's like, okay, what's your background? I told her I'm Caribbean, right? And then she got all excited after I told her. I'm like, this weekend, like Carabana was like last weekend. She's looking at me and she's like, oh, I remember that. And she's like, you guys are the ones that jump up and you have all the food and stuff. And we're talking about food and stuff. You're having a nice conversation. Because I was telling her, I'm like, what I normally eat isn't till out here. Because then she started asking me, she's like, why did you end up all the way out here? And I told her, I was looking for a place to live. That's what I was telling her. And I'm like, based off of the money I had already made, I'm like, I could live out here. I didn't think I could make it out here for a year, but I did. So thank God for that. So I told her, I'm like looking for work, right? Because I'm like, if I have no money coming in, I'm gonna end up on the street, right? And I'm like, that's the fault of the government, right? Because I was telling her, I'm like, I keep getting roped in with all the other Indians, and then I have all these racist things being thrown at me. So then she starts telling me, she's like, go talk to the representative for this town, right? Because she said, there's no way people aren't gonna. Everybody I encounter tells me I'm easily hireable, but they're like, they don't understand how I'm not getting hired, right? Because I'm like, I'm in these situations where I'm like, I don't want to compromise my integrity, right? Right? Because the people hiring are all the racist kind. They're like, oh, like all the Indians are working coffee and taxis. Why don't you go do the same thing? I'm like, excuse me. First of all, I'm not an immigrant, okay? This is my home country. Second of all, I'm well educated, right? So I'm like, why the fuck would I lower myself to that? I'm like, there's no way God would do that to me. I was like, that's fucked up. So we're talking about work and stuff, and she said, go find work at the mall, right? So then she said, go find work at the mall so then I can see you more often, right? And I'm like, damn, lady, like, how often you going to the mall? You getting your bank? You getting your bank account hacked that often? Like, fuck. Okay, so after I'm having this lovely conversation with her, and I never get her name, right? We get to the point where I'm like, right? Because if you're following this, we're going here now, right? I don't know where the ramps are, and I tell her, we gotta get over this tiny little hill, because I have to cross over this hill, and I get to the door right there, right? And I know she would never go that way because you need a lot of uphill momentum to get up there, and I'm like, you're lucky I'm strong. She asked me that too. She asked me how old I was, and I told her I just turned 30. My birthday was like the other day, right? And she's like, whoa, you look so young. And I was like, thanks. She's like, you sure you're not an angel? I was like, please, for the love of God, old lady, before I come and backslap you. Right before we got to the little hill, she was telling me about lifespan, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't want to have this conversation right now. You shouldn't be talking about life and death with someone who's suicidal, right? I'm like, this isn't the conversation I wanted to have, because she was telling me, because as we were talking about food, we both found out we have celiac allergies, right? Because we both found out we can't eat spice. And she's like, oh, you can't eat spice, that's great. And I'm like, yeah, but when I tell people that, they're like, they always look at me very racistly, and they're like, you're not a real Indian. And I was like, well, fuck them, right? I'm a Canadian. So she started talking about life and death, and she said, you gotta be careful with celiac, you know, you could die early. And I'm like, I had a good run, you know, it's fine. She's looking at me like, I lived to 77, you have to live to that age too, I'm not suffering alone. She's like the youth nowadays. They don't want to live. Uh, it's not that we don't want to live. It's just that the situation now isn't livable. Right? Like, I don't know how to explain that. Anyways, we get to the hill now. She picks up her feet, and I'm like, we're gonna go up this hill now. She gets all excited because she's like, no one in their right mind would ever do this except for me. Because I'm like, I'm taking her the way I normally go, right? And I go the path where you're not gonna encounter people, right? I didn't take main road here. I get her over the hill, and now we're in the parking lot of the mall, right? The other side of the like, she normally goes the other way around where the big parking lot is, but we're in the smaller one, right? And it's hard to get there from where I'm taking her, right? So we get over the little hill, and she's all excited. She's like, wow, I've never seen the mall from this angle before. We get to the mall entrance now, because I'm wheeling her down. I gotta go downhill now, right? Like, if I let go, she going flying down the hill. I told her, I'm like, you're lucky I'm strong. She's like, I'm so blessed. I didn't tell her, I'm like, it's because of Shu that I'm here, right? Like, I had no reason to come out here if he hadn't told me that before I left the door. Yeah, she told me find a job at the mall, and I'm like, it's not like I haven't been trying. I'm just like, maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to stay in this town any longer, right? Because I'm like, I got everything done that I need to get done. I don't know if I should, I don't think I'm supposed to settle here, right? It's only a stop. I don't know where I'm stopping to next. So then it's rush hour now. It's like 10, 11 o'clock, or 10:30 maybe, right? So the food court or whatever, I don't know what, the food places open up right in the mall. So I'm like, oh great, now we're gonna draw a crowd. See, like, I like situations like this where I get to take care of old people and like just have a conversation with them. It's like this I like doing, right? There's a lot, I think there's a lack of PSWs now. So I'm like, it'd be nice for me to work in that section, but I'm like, I need to have a lot of people vouching for me to do that, right? Because that's another like field. I'm like, someone would have to recommend me for that, right? Because I could jump any field, just that I need, it doesn't show on paper, it's not documented there, right? Like when I give out my resumes, you have the one where it's like all office stuff, and then all the technical stuff with all the software and stuff I've used and all of that type of thing. I fucked myself over because I didn't make a portfolio when I should have during school, but I'm like, for me, it feels meaningless, even though that's what all of these idiotic companies want to see, right? I changed fields 3 times now, and when I'm out here, I'm like, there's so many, like, I feel the path, and I'm like, I can't just randomly walk into it without somebody walking it with me, right? Like, when I was in high school, I really wanted to go into law, right? But then when I realized there's money in it and no one's gonna help fund me or back me in this, I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm gonna pivot from law to science, right? And I told you guys I was going into biology. Then when I got into biology and then COVID and stuff happened, then I switched over because right when I was finishing high school and I was gonna go into biology and COVID happened, I ended up pivoting because now I could sense you guys' energy, and now I switched over to media, right? So when I went into uni, it's all camera stuff, all the technical stuff, because I can use a computer. A lot of women my age can't, right? And I've been using it since I was 7. So I'm like, why not? I'm like, okay, let me go into technical field because it's usually male dominated, right? And I'm like, I sense this, I don't understand why, but I'm just gonna go with it, right? And I ended up at the top of my class for that too, and it's natural for me. So I shifted 3 times. Now when I'm out here in the middle of nowhere in a small town, those skills are useless, right? I'm like, okay, law came back up, right? But it's not documented on paper, right? Because my field's in media, but media ties into everything. So I'm like, okay, I got to work at the law office for a bit. Sciencey stuff hasn't come up yet, but then there's not really any media stuff here unless you're like in people's business, which is what I don't like the reporting aspect of it. But then there's all these other fields where I'm like, taking care of kids, taking care of the elderly, taking care of pets, like the care aspect. I'm like, I don't know how my skills correlate to this, right? Because I've been doing office stuff for so long, it just makes more sense. And also because if you don't have a license out here, you're kind of fucked. It's like you can't drive, you can't get a job. So now in my head, I'm like, should I lie about it now? Because I'm like, who in the hell is gonna check? But I don't want to like get a position by doing things that way, right? I'm like, I want to do it the right way. It's just taking so fucking long. So now I'm in this position now where I'm like taking care of people like her would really be fulfilling for me, right? If I make money and get a good story out of it, like I like this feels right. So we're talking about work and stuff, and she's like, damn, I've been here like basically my whole life. You're gonna have a hard time finding office work, especially if you're competing with the white folk. And I'm like, I know. But I'm like, my name is white enough. Like, as long as they don't see me, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just need to find the right person to talk to, and then we're good, right? I think I've overstayed my welcome in this town, though. It's time for me to leave. Anyways, we get over the hill, we cross the parking lot, then we get to the entrance of the door, the we get to the door of the mall, you know, one of the entrances there, and I wheel her in, and she's all happy and excited. I'm like, you shouldn't be this happy after having a conversation with me when you know right after you're gonna deal with fuck ass shit at the bank, right? Because who knows? In that time while I'm talking to her, someone could have been draining her savings, right? I'm like worried for her. I'm like, oh God, please tell me nothing bad happened to this lady. I'm like, she's too old to be making such stupid ass decisions. Um, so we get through the door, and she's looking at me like, you don't have to keep taking me straight to the bank, right? But I'm like, I have to, it's in the same direction as where I gotta go get the can opener. So I'm like, I can take you there, it's no problem, right? And she's all happy. She's like, you're not gonna leave me yet? I'm like, no. Because for her, it's relaxing, right? It's like, she doesn't have to push the chair, right? Because I'm doing it for her, right? It's all, it's Lisa powered now, so she can take a break, right? She didn't feel heavy to me either. She just, how do I explain this? Because back in the day, right, people used to say I'm really strong because I'm like, we used to, because Tonesy takes forever to walk. We just pick him up and fetch him home, right? It's like quicker that way. It's like, I don't want to be outside. Let's just head home. We can go game, whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm used to carrying weight, right? Like, I don't know if you guys know this. I may be scrawny, but I'm not fucking weak, okay? So I don't know what to compare her to, but she didn't feel like you know, like if I had to carry 2 bottles of water is heavy, right? But because I'm pushing her like this, like I don't feel any pain. Like it doesn't feel like I'm working any type of muscle, right? So like to me, it didn't feel like anything. I'm like, I'm just pushing her. I'm like, if I can take that burden off of her, why not? So I wheel her all the way to the bank, right? And then I didn't realize that right across from the bank is where the can opener is, right? So I'm like mind blown because I'm like, there's no like, if I hadn't told her I'm going to the mall to get a can opener, she wouldn't have said that she needed to go to the bank, right? Because initially when she talked to me, she's like, I need to go to the convenience store, right? But in my head, I'm like, it makes no sense because she easily could get across the road and get there, right? Even though I know a lot of idiots like crashing at that light, right? Maybe she didn't want to take the risk, and I'm like, okay, I can help her out. Because there's a good couple times I'm crossing this road and I'm like, are you guys fucking blind? Who gave you guys your license? Like, they almost ran me over a good couple times and I had the walk light. I'm like, are you guys fucking blind? Ugh. It was in the news too, and I was like, I don't know who got into an accident last time. Because I told her, I'm like, I like to walk, right? And she's like, I would like to walk too if I could walk. And I was like, that's not why I'm telling you that. I'm like, you're lucky I'm walking. Because in my head, I'm like, did everyone else fail her? Imagine at your old ass age, you don't have a husband to help you out. I don't know where her, like, grandkids are, right? Because, or like, or you know what I mean? There's like a lot of strong white men here, and I'm like, none of them are gonna help out this old ass white lady. I'm like, what? This humanity has gone to fucking shit. Like, I don't know what to tell people. I forgot to ask her that too, because I'm like, she had it in her mind that she got up that morning and she's like, I'm gonna leave my apartment and go take care of bank stuff, but she started second guessing herself at the light. I don't know why, right? Because she just felt like she was waiting there for me. I feel like if he didn't tell me to go get the can opener, I don't know what I would have told her, right? To tell her that, oh yeah, I'm heading to the mall, right? Because she didn't open up about the bank thing until I told her I'm going in that direction. So then my mind's blown now, right? Because I'm in the mall and I'm like, that's fucking crazy that the can opener, like with the store I gotta go to, is right beside this bank because I never paid attention, right? I'm like, when I have to go to the bank, it's like close to the hospital side, and I'm like, I gotta walk for 3 hours if I want to head there. So I don't know where the other banks are. So then I'm like, okay, she's in the bank now, dealing with her business. And I tell her before I leave her, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave you here. I'm gonna go check out for this can opener. And then I told her I gotta head to the grocery store um before the sale ends, because I told her, I'm like, I really want bagels. Like, I didn't tell her, I'm like, today I came up because I really wanted bagels, but now I'm here having a conversation with you, right? So that's what I tell her. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head to this store and then head to that store, because I'm like, okay, if I find cans I need at the grocery store, I'm definitely gonna need this can opener, and I'm not gonna go from there to here to there to back home, right? So leave her to do her business. I go in the store, and obviously I already know, like, I'm not gonna find. I don't feel the can opener there, right? I told you guys, when things are there for me, I feel it and I have to go pick it up, right? How like Flowers left me my bag, how Shu left me that pen. I forgot to check to see if there's anything else there. He sent me back to the same store. So I'm like, okay. For me, it was a waste of time going to the mall. But for her, it wasn't a waste. So I'm like, okay, I did something. I got my helping the elderly quota out of the way for the day, okay? So at this point now, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head to the grocery store now because the hungry's kicking in. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, shoot, I helped out the whole lady. Though they better be bagels waiting for me there. I'm gonna be real fucking pissed because I took like an hour or so with her. By the time I go to the grocery store, they're gonna be gone, right? I know they're always gone. So I leave the mall, start making my way to the grocery store. Kind of tired now because I just did all that heavy pushing. I kind of treated her like she was a shopping cart. She's the expensive goods. I gotta get back to wherever she gotta go, okay? I get to the grocery store now and I look at the bagel shelf and I'm like, it's fucking empty. But then I feel the energy go off. I'm like, I feel Shoes there, right? So I'm like, he's telling me, he's like, look at it carefully. I go and I look at the shelf, and before I left too, and I told him I was gonna go get the bagels, I told him I don't know if I'm gonna get 2 packs or 4 packs, right? If there's any left to begin with, right? I get there and I could feel him telling me,